Hello. Great evening. My name is Tequila McKeever. I will be your host for this evening at the Entrepreneur Roundtable. Before we get started, I just want to let you know that we do have wine and some snacks, as you can see. And also, if you need to go to the restroom, the double doors by the entrance, and it's to your right. So, before we go into the presentation, I just want to have our entrepreneurs tell a little bit about themselves. So, Mr. Dillard, how are you this evening? Do you mind giving us a little background about yourself and your entrepreneur journey?
Yeah, well, I'm Courtney Dillard. I'm the president and founder of Leadership Team USA, and we are a Christian leadership mentoring organization that focuses on two things. One is we are now the largest college scholarship fair host in America. We host about 2,500 kids every year in our scholarship fair that brings together about 55 colleges and universities into the local community here in Atlanta for the sole purpose of delivering scholarship offers to deserving high school students in the greater metropolitan Atlanta area. That's the first thing we do. And the second thing we do is we provide training for students, readiness training for students and their parents, so that when our scholarship fairs come around once a year, that the students in this area will be the most prepared students in the area to be able to receive these free college scholarship offers from the schools that we represent. So we're just proud to say that we're just a good servant organization that produces a high yield for the customers that we represent.
Love it. Thank you for sharing that. Scholarship is definitely amazing. I know a lot of parents are definitely grateful for that because I know school can be very costly. So
Yes.
it's great that you're doing that. Thank you. Just a little bit about myself. I am a wealth strategist, so I help people increase their cash flow, eliminate debt, and create investment streams of income. I've been doing that for almost 2 years now. And as an entrepreneur, sometimes it's a little hard because we're by ourselves, but however I am, persevering. So we're just gonna move right along. Now this presenter we have coming up, sorry I got a little excited because I know the information is about to be presented. So this gentleman that we have come up to the front of the room, he knows 100% of the information you're gonna learn this evening. He has positioned himself as an expert when it comes to assisting entrepreneurs with marketing and financial strategies to help them grow their business. And if you're not here, you're missing, and I apologize because you need this to go into 2020, but don't worry, we're going to begin next year, so look out for that. And he definitely, truly believes that service to others leads to greatness. So without further ado, help me welcome Mr. Bernard Ponder, founder and CEO of Become Your Own CEO.
Yay! Thank you, Mr. McKeever. How you feel right now? Awesome.
Yes.
I'm super excited to have you here, Mr. Dillard. Appreciate you coming out and supporting the Entrepreneur Roundtable discussion. This is the last one of 2019, and we're super elated to be here. So before I say anything about myself, can we give her a huge round of applause for our host for coming out and hosting this event tonight? Ms. Keelan, we really appreciate you. How's everybody feeling?
Awesome.
Awesome. My name's Bernard Ponder. Like she said, I grew up on the traditional way of thinking, which is go to school, get good grades, go to college, and then what we do after college?
We hope that you get a good job.
Get the quote-unquote good job, right?
Yes.
How many people here did that? Is that the traditional way to go about things?
Yes.
Yeah. But sometimes we have a little transition in our life. But when it came to my story, I am from Atlanta, Georgia. I went to Martin Luther King High School. I was one of the first percussion players at our high school. I was on the championship swim team, and I furthered my education to one of the best HBCUs in the entire world called Florida A&M University, where I participated in the Marching 100. I had 2 Super Bowl performances. I actually got a chance to do the inauguration parade with Barack Obama, as well as be able to sit down with dinner with him. While I was at Florida A&M University, I also traveled the world performing, doing choreography. I helped out with America's Best Dance Crew 2009. We got second place against Quest Crew, so that was a big, great experience for myself. And I had the opportunity to do a Steve Harvey show performance at Disney in downtown in Orlando. But along my college career, I actually went to school for broadcast journalism, TV, and radio, and I finished in 3 years. Everybody say 3 years.
3 years.
3 years, but I finished in 3 years, but I didn't say graduated, okay? With that being said, I was blessed to be able to come back home. When I came back home, I still followed that traditional way of thinking. I was able to get an amazing job. Everybody say job.
Job.
With that job, I had no degree, but I became a federal officer with the Department of Homeland Security with a little company called TSA. Anybody familiar with that company?
Yes.
I caught myself in a position where I was making a lot of money, but had no time to actually follow my pursuit of happiness, which was dance and music. Now, how many people in here know somebody who has money with no time? How many people know some people who have time with no money? Right? With that being said, I was able to network with a lot of people at one of the busiest airports in the whole entire world, the Hartsfield Atlanta Airport. And when I was able to do that, I met a lot of people. I met a few gentlemen who actually specialized in helping people identify their problems. Not only did they identify their problems, they provided solutions to those problems. How many people in here are entrepreneurs? By show of hands, right? And can we all agree that as an entrepreneur, our job is to solve people's problems, yes?
Yes.
Not only solve them, but identify what the issue is and then provide a solution for it. So with that being said, I am the founder of Become Your Own CEO. I have a background in network marketing, top 10%, top 5% in a travel agency where I was able to build a team to over 11 states and 3 countries while driving trucks. Anybody in here works a job? Anybody in here know somebody who works a job?
Yeah.
Yeah. How many people know that a lot of people are looking for their exit strategy right now? Say I. Right? With that being said, I want to share with you guys today what we have in front of you. Everybody have a worksheet?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Everybody got a pen?
Yes.
And I don't want to be long, but I do want to be strong. Is that fair?
Yes.
Right? And what I've created in 2016, I was blessed to be able to help one of my brothers who was my mentor for 5 years in network marketing. We traveled the world. We went to all the big conferences all across the country, and I didn't even have money at some of those times. But I found myself in places like Anaheim, California, Dallas, Texas, Seattle, Washington, teaching and training across the world with a lot of successful people. And we actually launched a company in 2016 called The Rise of the 1%, October 3rd, 2006. With that company, in the first 5 to 6 months from the strategies we were studying, we was able to yield our company to 5 to 6 figures in the first 5 to 6 months. Isn't that pretty dope?
That's awesome.
Right? And with those skills I learned that it's very important. Once you learn a thing, it's even better when you can teach a thing, right? So with that being said, I created my own company called Become Your Own CEO. And CEO simply stands for Creative Execution Officers. So on the first line, as you guys see, it says, what is a CEO? So if you guys can write that down for me, write Creative Execution Officers. The meaning and purpose behind that is simply that everyone that we know has a creative idea about a product or service that they can offer. We all can agree?
Yes.
And also, it says, what does a MAP stand for? MAP stands for Marketing Accountability Partner. Today's conversation is about some business strategies that I've created from my experiences over the last 8 years of specifically studying networking and marketing. I'm gonna see if I can pull up our screen here. Say again? And he didn't bring me the markers. Let me see if I can write with my finger. Can I write with my finger? Cool. If you can you give me a glass of water and ask him for the eraser and pen, please? I appreciate it. So, with what is a CEO and what is our MAP program, it's all about helping those creators who have their business product and services execute their financial plan that funds their business, as well as the marketing strategy that promotes their business. So what I created was over the last 3 years of study, 8 years of studying these different things, is 4 steps I like to use when it comes to becoming your own CEO. And we're going to talk about that. Let me ask you, have you ever heard of a guy named Robert Kiyosaki? Anybody? Have you, Mr. Dillard? Robert Kiyosaki, I like to say he has $1 billion logo. And I think that's the foundation of why I called my company when I initially started it, Become Your Own CEO. Because that is the process, what Robert Kiyosaki explains, that we all have to do. 4 quadrants. The $1 billion logo says, you start here as an employee, then you upgrade your lifestyle with a product or service, something that you can offer to your community as a self-employed person. Then the next step is to then become a business owner and then an investor. Is that something that you desire or wish to be in your travel of entrepreneurship and business? Is to become an investor, to be able to invest into other people and to be able to serve and give value to them? You would probably say yes?
It's a program.
It's a program, okay. Blessed. One of the main things about the process of ownership and being able to serve your community is going from employee, this is the system that he teaches, to self-employed, to business owner, to investor. And the difference between the 4 types of people is this. Thank you so much. You're a scholar. Okay. The difference is that most employees have no leverage income, no residual income. Key thing, leverage, residual. Most people are taught that traditional way of thinking that we started with, which is to go to school, get good grades, and then graduate with honors and scholars and become a great employee. The difference between a guy who makes $50,000, let me say $100,000 a year, and the person who makes $100,000 a month is their system. Right?
Yes.
Employees have no leverage, no L's, no residual. Because we all can agree, if you go to work today, you can't get paid next week off of what you did today. Am I correct? At the same time, if you work at that job and you get those customers to come in there, do you still get paid on that same customer that you brought to that company forever and ever and ever and ever? No, right? So this is they say one of the worst ways to get paid because you have no leverage. Leverage is best explained as by a guy named Jean-Paul Getty. Jean-Paul Getty says, I'd rather earn 1% off of 100 people's efforts than off 100% of my own. Because if anything ever happened to me, 99% of the work still gets done. On the other side is residual income. Residual income means you create a service to your community, you create a product for your community or network that you can get paid on month after month, year after year without fail. Now, as we go from employed to self-employed, the difference between the two is that self-employed people have residual income, no leverage. Why? It's simply because they have created a service for their community, but a lot of times they don't have a leverage system. And this is very important when we get to step 3 of becoming your own CEO. Because a leverage system is, how many people in here utilize social media to run their business? Yes? Majority of us do. But the thing is, isn't it powerful if you can share something one time, and then every single time that you share it, you can get a referral for your service or a referral of a product? Wouldn't that be cool?
Oh yeah.
Versus the traditional way of marketing, which is, hey, I got this. Hey, I got this. Offline only.
Mm-hmm.
So the difference between a self-employed person, and this is my purpose of creating the MAP program, is to help these 2 different people, employees, people who have a service but don't have any leverage, go to business owners. Business owners have leverage and are residual. This means, and what I learned over the first 5 years of my entrepreneur journey was that leverage is simply partners. You have other people who can actually work on your behalf and you not be there and the work still gets done. They also have a residual stream of income, and they've created a system that produces residual streams of income over and over and over without fail, right? The last part is going from here to here, which is investor, and we're still talking about Robert Kiyosaki's 4 Quadrants he made years ago. I've read all 12 of his books, and if you have not looked at that yet, I suggest you go invest into those books, right? What he talks about here is that investors utilize the law of association. Investors understand that you're a sum total of the people you surround yourself with. You hang around 9 broke people, you guarantee to be the 10th. You hang around 9 success business owners, and you're self-employed, you're guaranteed to be next. Am I correct?
Correct.
Right? So with that being said, and I love this whiteboard, we can click here, and we're gonna go to the next screen.
That's awesome.
What I'm here to talk to you today is about the 4 steps of our CEO map program. Let's do this. Can you read from me, Mr. Dillard, what the first thing says, step 1 says we should do?
Identify your marketing accountability partner.
Absolutely. Why do you believe that having a marketing accountability partner would be important?
Well, because everybody should have goals, and a partner or an accountability partner allows you to be able to not only have clear goals, but for you to have a time period by which you want to achieve those goals.
I love that. Can we give you a round of applause and give yourself a round of applause? I love that. Because I really believe exactly everything that you said, because if everybody knows businesses, yes? Hey, look, the press is already hit. Press is already hit. Look, we stopped right at the gas station recording. He's like, dang, we don't have cheese and crackers there. We're going to press it.
What's my answer?
Hey, give him a press. That's dope. But is that when you have a map, that creates so much leverage for you. Every successful business has a marketing department. We all agree?
Yes.
Because this part right here, step 1. Identify a map. And what does a map do? Somebody tell me what does a map do, and just in general. Identify your map.
Tell you where you need to go. Right?
It takes you where you need to go, right? Right? So if we go back here, and you are an employee, doesn't a map create leverage for you to be able to just follow the system?
You get where you need to be.
Right? Because typically, again, I said the scenario of a guy who makes $100,000 a year versus a guy who makes, and I want to put it differently, right? Business ownership, mindset. If a guy makes $100,000 a year on his job or wherever, right? But he spends $100,000.02 that year, isn't he in debt?
Yes.
Would some people consider that broke on paper?
Yes.
Right? He makes $100,000 a year. Compared to a gentleman or lady who makes $30,000 a year and only spends $25,000. Which one is wealthier?
The lady.
He was a man. You talking about the guy that makes $30,000, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. He spent less than what he made, right? Powerful. So with step 1, it says, identify your marketing accountability partner. And I already have it here. I can just follow my steps. So what it says, the first bullet point, it says, so that you may focus on your creative service or product at hand. The thing is, a lot of times when we're self-employed or entrepreneurs, we try to do every single thing. We try to be, if it's a football game, we try to be the center and hype the ball. We try to be the quarterback at the same time and throw the ball. At the same time, some people are running ragged, trying to be the wide receiver and catch the ball.
Yes.
And then be the coach at the same time and tell the players who are in the game what to do. Right? So having a map allows you not to be a jack of all trades and master nothing, which your overall goal is. The second point of why you need a marketing accountability partner It's because it helps you develop a system. Everybody in here say system.
System.
System. For your business that provides leverage or residual income. System stands for save yourself, stress, time, energy, and money. Most people who are self-employed do not have a system that allows you to produce leverage income and residual income at will. That's the difference. Steps number 2, Ms. Keela, can you read what number 2 says?
Sure. Step number 2, create your personal development schedule for this week.
Can you share with me why do you think that having a personal development plan every single week is important?
I think it's important because as entrepreneurs, we focus on our business and not necessarily what we have to do for ourselves. We put ourselves on the back burner. So I think a personal development plan will help us develop as a person. And then therefore we'll be able, if we're better, then we can do better in our business, so to speak.
Powerful. Powerful, powerful, powerful. The first 2 things I wrote about why we have to identify a personal development plan, the partners that I work with, we identify your top 3 priorities every Sunday. Every Sunday. If you can share with me, if I would have asked anybody, just meeting somebody, I met this guy here, I met this lady right here. Whatever I ask, what is their top priorities? They're gonna say something that falls in their spiritual, that's most important to them. They're gonna say something about their family, that's very important to them. And then they're gonna talk about the business that they have to get handled, right? I do this because a lot of times I connect with self-employed people who are acting as business owners who have not taken care of their family environment. Can anybody work in a cluttered space? It doesn't yield that many results, right?
No.
So the thing is, with having that personal development space, sometimes we wake up on Monday morning and we get straight to how many customer and clients I'm gonna get.
Yeah, straight checking the email.
Checking the email, sending the text, taking calls from anybody at any time without schedule plan,
Yes.
right? I've learned over the last 8 years of working with very successful people because myself, I have 3 mentors in each of these lanes. I have a spiritual accountability partner. It's not just marketing. But at the same time, I will call it marketing because I have to present myself, that's marketing, advertise my spirit to others so they can attract to me. I have some mentors, men in my life, who mentor me as a man to be able to take care of my household. In business, I have men who mentor to me and hold me accountable to the things that I do in business. Yeah? Make sense?
Definitely.
So everybody has to identify their top 3 priorities. And I like something that you said, but I didn't get right to it on your map. Is that when you're writing out your top 3 priorities, they have to be smart. Everybody write that down on your paper. That's a big piece that I don't want anybody to forget as we're growing. They have to be smart. SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time sensitive. Right?
Yes.
Top priorities. This is the second thing I want you to write right here because this is what so many people miss. It's are you being an amateur or are you being a professional? The difference between the 2 people is professionals are always asking questions. Amateurs always have statements, rebuttals to everything. Follow me? The thing is, write this down, is that when it comes to your personal development, if we are truly building wealth in the kingdom, your spirit, if you're going to build a wealth in your family lifestyle, if you're going to build wealth in your business, you have to ask yourself these questions every Sunday. In my spiritual development, have I been consistent? It's 5 of them. Let me just lay them out to you. It's 5 of them. Consistency, persistency, discipline, urgency, and excitement. There's no way for me to be accountability partners to somebody who hasn't checked themselves first. The CEO, the E stands for execution. It's a video out there that catapulted me in 2016 that I watched online, and it's called The 4 Disciplines of Execution. Execution has 2 parts. Accountability of your own personal goals. Then the accountability of a team or system to follow behind your creative work to ensure that it gets done. But when it comes to that personal development of your top 3 priorities, we work on things like, I will always ask you to do this. In your spirit, ask yourself, because professionals ask questions. The first accountability partner that you have is yourself. In your spirit, have you been consistent in growing it? Have you been persistent in growing your spirit? Have you been disciplined in growing your spirit? Have you been urgent about growing your own personal spirit? And right now, are you excited about how your spirit feels? That's a gut check. Nobody else can do that but you. The second thing is you look at your family, you look at your friends, you look at the environment that you are in. With the family and friend environment that you have, are you consistent in growing those relationships? Have you been persistent in growing your family, your friend, and your family environment? Have you persistent, been disciplined in growing your friends and your family around you? Have you been urgent about saying no to the best and yes to the good things that grow you? And right now, with your family, your friends, and the family environment around you, are you excited about those 3? Last part, business. In your business, when you look at the framework and everything that you got, the customers that you have, the leverage and partners that you have, because those are the most important thing in business, leverage, residual. Have you been consistently growing your business? Have you been persistently growing your business? Have you been disciplined in the work that's required for it to grow? Have you been urgent about that task that you've been putting off? And right now, where your business lays today, are you excited? Is that some good stuff?
Yes, that's awesome.
That's step 2. Step 2 also says consistent, positive action schedule plan. Every Sunday. Is your plan for this week when you wake up consistent? Is it positive? Is it having action in it? Is it scheduled? Is it planned, right? I'm going to get to the good part, what I love. This part right here, step 3, separates the self-employed people from the business owners. Step 3 says create your business development schedule for this week. And I have to say I'm very appreciative of the men and the people who are here in the AEI Startup Factory, because they're holding me accountable just by being in that positive environment. I love this environment. It's making me check these checklists and say, how am I doing offline? How am I doing online? Again, professionals ask questions. That's you're the first accountability partner to yourself. Offline, your business development plan should have an offline strategy for this week, and your business development plan should have an online strategy for this week, and they should go and coincide. Your business card should lead to your page online. Your page online should go to your offline event. Your offline event should have a call to action to follow you on YouTube, or right? Y'all follow me?
Yes.
Very important step. Before we got to, the spirit family has to handle first so we can be able to move and operate that way. Second part of that, it says as well, a circle of profit for your services and products. That is the book I recommend everybody go get. Type in Circle of Profit. Circle of Profit talks about identifying your target audience, right? It identifies having them opt in to a landing page. That landing page is your leverage system that automatically allows people to be marketed to or advertised to without you being there. Step 4. Mr. Dillard, can you read number 4, what step 4 is?
Master steps 1 through 3.
Hey, it's simple. Hey, that's simple. Do you guys believe that that's important, that we master these different things?
Yes. That's how you grow.
Indubitably. But mastery, if you go to school, the traditional way of thinking, mastery equals 10,000 hours. Have you been consistent, persistent, disciplined, urgent, excitement in all of those areas for 10,000 hours? 10,000 hours break down to 18 months. 18 months is a year and a half. A year and a half breaks down to 6 90-day game plans. The purpose of identifying your map first is so you won't go alone. Somewhere in a good book, and I know I have some people that can help me out in the ministry, and I want to talk to you if you can help me put a spiritual scripture in front of each one of these, so I can be able to serve on a higher level. Is that okay if I talk with you on that sidebar?
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. But 90 days. As having a marketing accountability partner, it says that if you want to go fast, shoot, go along. But if you want to go far, you have to go together. Right? So I want to go ahead and wrap this up. How we doing on time? 808. Good. 18 is the cutoff, right? Cool. So I want to ask that you all join us in deeper conversation about these different things and how it actually works with you and your business in our groups on Facebook, on social media. My name is Bernard Ponder, and I have 3 projects. It's always 3 types of people who look at this, but I want to share that I have 3 programs that go with this CEO Map program. Here they are. This touch screen is amazing. When it works. Arrow. 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 First program. 8:15 is actually cut off, right? 8:15 and 8:30 is the open discussion. The first, of course, CEO, and I broke this down, and I know, let me throw this in there, is that when I first started, I learned that having too many words as your business title is it's something about that. It should be three words or less. So I broke down, I think in 2017, towards 2018, and I said I'm gonna break it down just creative execution officers, and because that still works into my system, and it makes it a little bit simpler. The first program, creative officers. Creative officers, you get a marketing accountability partner. But we have, eraser, this is so cool. 4 SWOT analysis. Every week. How many times a week?
Every week.
How many times a month? Every week, right? Anybody know what SWOT stands for?
Strengths, weaknesses.
Opportunities,
I'm in a room full of great people, investors.
Opportunities and threats.
The threads, yeah.
Absolutely.
Time, yeah.
Absolutely. That gives you that strong accountability, that gives you that gut check and says, that allows you to, when we talk smart, measure. And that's the measuring part. Strengths. So the question that goes with that is, this week on your marketing plan, offline, what was your strengths? What was your weaknesses? What were the opportunities that came about, and what were the threats from what we created from the Monday accountability session, right? You also get entrepreneur page, build out. Call that framework. My handwriting is amazing on the board.
Yes, it is.
Trust me, it's better in real life.
Yeah.
All right. You also get free promotion. It's not free, it's a partner, but promotion and sponsorship of 2 events per month. 2 events per month. And something that we're about to add is a pop-up shop twice a year. So you get a discount on a vending table as well. Pretty good stuff?
Yes.
This package is only, everybody saying only $100. We spent $100 on many other things that didn't bring us real results in our life, right? Right. That's $25 a week for return on investment. Absolutely. Breaks down to $25 a week. What I've incorporated too is for some of those businesses, 3rd pages on out, we only add $25 extra. All right. Going into the next year, that's when that starts. But the second program, this is for the people who are actually working. We said E stands for executing. Executing the financial plan and also executing a specific marketing plan. Simply, you get a sales funnel. Plus everything else that we talked about. And if you're part of the group, we're going to be doing some trainings on the sales funnels. I'm doing some webinars on how those sales funnels have been working for a few of our clients. And I meant to put on here the entrepreneur build out. entrepreneur page build out, you also get the automated messages. So when two people go on your entrepreneur page, there's gonna be a pop-up that says, hey, look, do you want information to go to here, here, or here? Then, depending on wherever you want to send those people, that traffic keeps you in that circle of profit, which is the cell phone. And $75 more, $175. Third position. Oh, and I didn't write that. This is EO, Execution Officers. Last position is the full CEO program. This is the full business system that the top entrepreneurs are using. Tony Robbins, he uses some of the software that we use to create the cell phones. Oprah Winfrey, everybody anybody you can name, TD Jakes, it don't matter who it is, they're using this whole thing. But the thing is, the CEO program, it comes with 2 weeks worth of ads, bare minimum. 2 weeks worth of ads. Those ads start on Facebook. Those ads can also be promoted on Instagram. And to all the different groups that we put your business and to the targeted groups. $75 more, $250. I like to work in 90-day game plans because that allows our clientele to know, like, and trust the process. You also get to know, like, and understand the process. So if you choose to be able to duplicate and do it on your own, you have some type of framework that you can always go back to. Right? Am I missing anything? My handwriting looks amazing. Right? So before we leave, all of these things that we just talked about, identify your map. 2, these are things that we go through our SWOT analysis, is personal development plan. And the good thing about this is that when we work on this, like the personal development plan, like we do something called the 20-20-20. 20 minutes of exercise, 20 minutes of reading, and then 20 minutes of reviewing your top 3 goals for the day. So when you write out those top 9 goals of spirit, family, business, we identify one goal from each of those areas to make sure that we work on and we personally develop it. Because if we don't work on those, the most top priorities in our life, nothing else will go. All right? Personal development. 3, marketing development plan. And of course, the last step is mastery. What I was getting to say with this is that all of these things, if you want to take a picture, you can take a picture, or because the Startup Factory is so dope, anything that I write on the board, we can save and email it straight to you off our sign-in sheet. All right?
That's dope.
You guys got some good value?
Yes.
Right? I wasn't too long?
Are you good?
Yep. Please give a huge round of applause to our host with the most. We're going to go ahead and close out and open up our roundtable discussion. Mr. Keelan McKeever, I appreciate you being here. You're welcome to take over the
All right, can I say that was awesome? Do we agree? Was that awesome? That was fantastic. Definitely learned a lot. And as an entrepreneur, I feel like, oh my God, I got a lot of work to do. You know, as entrepreneurs, we think we got it going on, but we really, well, I won't say we don't, but really we do, but we feel like overwhelmed. We end up doing it all ourselves, thinking we're doing the right thing, and then you see this, it's like, oh my God, I need that marketing accountability partner, I need that CEO map. So that was awesome. I definitely love that. So now we're going to transition into our roundtable discussion. So with